Ultraflex Fantasy Football Podcast After Dark. I am your host, Anthony Sutton. With me is my friends, Ultraflex Rob.
What's up?
And my other friend, Ultraflex Ryan.
Sounds so creepy.
Welcome, everyone, to our late night spin the wheel times 22 or 23. We're still trying to determine if we want to spin it when there's one wheel left or not. But we are going to use this episode to pick the remaining games for every team that we haven't gotten to so far. Set the record for all the teams, kind of talk about the over-under for each team, and go from there. So, today, Ryan?
Say that again?
I said, how are you doing today?
It's late. It's late, and I'm a little bit tired, but we're going to get through this, and we're just going to, it's the late night podcast. So
It's Friday, though.
It is Friday.
Let's be happy for that.
I'm very happy for any Friday to come through.
Do we want to spin the first team here?
Yeah, let's get that first team going. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Let's spin the wheel.
Did Anthony just take over my singing?
Well, you can sing, but you got to spin the wheel.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
All right. They start the season off at the LA Chargers.
Wow.
Fun first game.
Yeah.
I'll take the home team.
I'm going to go
hype behind the Chargers this year. I'll take the Chargers.
Week 2 home against Arizona.
We picked that game.
Yeah, we have the Raiders winning that game.
All right, so we are 1-1. Next game is at Tennessee, which we've already picked, and we picked the Raiders to win. So now we are 2-1 home against Denver.
It's a fun little start for the Raiders.
I'm going to go Denver because I said that they're my team to come out on top of the AFC West. So
I think it might take a few weeks for everything to gel with Russ there. So I'll stick with the Raiders for now. But later, I think I might go with the Broncos.
Bring it home, Tony.
Yeah, the Raiders at home. I'm a big fan of Derek Carr this season. I think he has a monster year. I'm going to pick the Raiders to win this game and start 3-1.
Yeah, you threw out a real spicy Derek Carr could finish top 7 last episode. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah.
We may have to discuss a hot take in the coming weeks. Possible MVP candidate.
Oh my!
What?
Week 4.
Yeah. Week 4, Denver. So now we're 3-1, heading to Kansas City, which we've already picked Kansas City to win that game. So we're 3-2. Week 6, they have a bye, and then it's home hosting Houston.
The Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders there.
All right, 4-2 at New Orleans.
I feel like I pick New Orleans every time they come up. I am high on New Orleans, a little higher than consensus, I think. But I also think that the Raiders are a very good team this year. I'm going to go Raiders.
I think it's a bit of a letdown spot after the bye and a win over Houston. I think they're due for a loss. Give me New Orleans.
Although I'm high on the Raiders and Derek Carr, I think it's just very difficult to go into New Orleans and win. So I will also pick New Orleans.
You're telling me that I went against the Saints for like the first time,
And now
then
we
you
picked
both.
them. Guess you got to pick against them more if you really want them to win.
Apparently, all right. That's how this is going to be.
So 4-3, heading to Jacksonville.
Wow, Anthony, you need us to pick Jacksonville for
I know
this.
Anthony wants us to, but I'm going to take the Raiders.
I'm going to take Jacksonville.
My man. I will also take Jacksonville to win this game. I think Trevor Lawrence has a good year. I think having an actual coach will be helpful. So I will pick Jacksonville.
They also have a decent defense in that offensive line, and I was going to say Oakland. Holy moly. Las Vegas is porous. So that might be a game where defense shows up for Jacksonville and Lawrence does just enough to get the win. A game that you wouldn't expect them to win.
So 4-4, hosting Indy.
I got to go Raiders.
Well, I think they're going to beat Jacksonville, and I think they'll lose the game to Indy. So I'm going to say they lose.
I think...
Not changing it just because of the previous pick didn't go my way.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Indy will win that game.
This is a 3-game losing streak for the Raiders.
Yeah, about to be 4. At least for you, Ryan.
Because they're going to Denver next. So we have them 4-5 going to Denver.
I'll take Denver.
I'm going to take Denver.
Next game is at Seattle, which we've already picked the Raiders to win. And then it's hosting the Chargers.
I'm going Raiders. I think that division's going to be a lot of splits between teams this year.
I was going to say
where it could be every team in the division might end up 3-3. I mean, who knows? A couple 4-2s, a couple 2-4s, but I think it'll be a pretty even division this year. So I'll have them split. I'll take the Raiders.
I agree.
All right, and then it's at the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm thinking Rams.
Yeah, later in the season, I think they'll get over their Super Bowl hangover that I've talked about, so I'll take the Rams.
Next is hosting New England, and we've already picked Las Vegas to win that game. Then they travel to Pittsburgh, which we picked Pittsburgh to win that game. And then home against San Francisco, which we've picked the Raiders to win that game. And then home to end the season against Kansas City, which we've picked the Raiders to win that game. So where does that leave us?
I think we picked them to split with every division team, right?
Yes, we did.
Like I kind of talked about.
9-8
to end the year for the Raiders, which honestly to me sounds about right.
That's what I was going to say. That seems real good, actually. They had a real bad start, and it probably might not be how it actually goes, obviously, but I think 9-8 is a real good guess for them. And I would guess
they didn't have a bad start. They had a bad middle, right? They started 3-1.
That's true.
But then we had them losing 4 straight.
What do you guys think their over under is?
11. 8.5.
I would say 9.5.
8.5. So I think
the tough division kind of brings that number down. I think they're a better team than that, but they might not win that many games just because that division could beat each other up.
And that's not one that I'm actively going to be betting on because I just feel like the Raiders could also be very bad this year.
Yeah, right. There is a scenario, I think, where you could see them just being the clear worst team in the division. If I had to pick one team to be that, I think it would be the Raiders. So I would stay away from that 8.5.
But if you look at the start of the season, we had them going 3-2, but you could easily pick them to go 0-5 there. I mean, we have them beating Arizona, Tennessee, and Denver, which none of those teams are a gimme. So
it's a schedule that could get away from them quick if they don't steal some early wins.
This is making me think I should be
betting
maybe the under.
Yeah, like we had them go 9-8, but the under might be the way to lean there. Honestly,
yeah.
All right, that gives us the Raiders. Let's pull up the wheel and get to the next team.
All right.
Big money, big money, big money. I can't believe Wheel of Fortune is still on the TV. My team.
There it is.
Is that Wheel of Fortune? Is that Pat Sajak? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's the
Vanna
White? Right. Okay.
All right. My hot take to start the year was that Jacksonville makes the playoffs. Let's see if our consensus is that they have somewhat of a chance. They start the year at Washington.
Unfortunately for you, Anthony, you're the tiebreaker and not one of the ones that make the initial decision. So I don't feel good about it.
I do want to say I can get behind them as a sleeper team. I think playoffs might be asking a bit much this year, though.
Yeah.
All right.
But let's start it with a win. I think they can beat the Carson Wentz-led Washington, whatever they are now, Commanders.
I think they could beat the Commanders, but I'm going to pick the Commanders.
I unfortunately have to admit that I watched the Commanders' first preseason game, and I know I shouldn't go base too much off of that, but they were very, 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 very bad. So I'm going to say that Jacksonville wins this first game.
It's going to be a rough season in Washington.
I don't know if you guys have looked or not, but we've picked every Washington game to be a loss so far.
It's going to be a rough season in Washington.
Week 2 is home against Indy.
Man, if they had Carson Wentz, they'd probably.
It's a home game, right?
It is a home game. You can't. I can't. I'm not. The Jacksonville is historically just a
but
bad.
Hold on. Look at who Indy plays the following 2 weeks. They got a big game against Kansas City at home and a big game against Tennessee at home. If there's ever a look-ahead spot after they easily beat Houston week 1, that's going to be it.
And it's,
Rob.
it's Indy's second away game in a row.
I'm going Jacksonville.
You're creating a narrative that's not actually there. I'm going to go Indianapolis.
Not just because I picked them to win, but maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Make the playoffs. But I will pick them to win. I won't pick them to win every game, but I'm going to pick them to win.
Trevor Lawrence has proven himself. He's 2-0. He's proven he's the prospect that we all thought he was. He's probably on a roll.
According to you guys, he's probably thrown more touchdowns in these 2 games than he did all last year.
They're probably talking about Super Bowl contending Jacksonville Jaguars after a 2-0 start right now.
Against Washington and Indianapolis.
As they should be, but unfortunately, the next 2 games probably slows some of that discussion when they travel to the Chargers.
Oh, I'm going Jaguars for sure.
Oh, okay. Me too. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, me too.
2-1 going to Philly, which we've already picked. Philly to win that game. So Jacksonville is 2-2 hosting Houston.
That game is going to be bad. I'm going to go.
But it's 2 division teams. Typically, divisional teams know each other well and play pretty well. So give me the roster with more talent. I'll take the Jaguars.
Houston? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the AFC South in general for the last however many years kind of just plays very ugly, low-scoring football, and I think the home team wins. So I'll pick Jacksonville to beat Houston.
What is going on right now?
They're 3-2. It's not like
It's
they're
3-2. Yeah, it's
They're
nothing
not
crazy.
a 3-2 team.
Who have they
Jacksonville-
played? They played Washington, Indy, and Houston. I mean, that's not crazy.
They have a new coach who's respected. They still have the.
I think 1-4 is much more likely than 3-2. But
My whole argument during the hot take was that their schedule was weak because now they play Indy at Indy, which I would pick them to
Indy.
lose, but I'll let you guys pick.
I'm going Indy.
Yeah, I'll go Indy there.
So we're 3-3 hosting the Giants.
I can just feel the setup coming when they play the Titans and you guys pick Jacksonville. I can feel it.
Yeah, but we already picked that game with Tennessee, so
Right, but there's another one. Oh, wait,
hosting the Giants.
hosting the Giants, who
See, that seems like a game they should win.
yeah, there
That-
hasn't been a lot of good news out of New York so far this offseason with the Giants. So I'm gonna go Jaguars.
All right,
Oh my-
4-3 hosting Denver.
I'll take Denver.
I'm going Denver.
4-4 go host. They have 3 home games in a row. Hosting the Raiders, which we've already picked. So now we're 5-4. Going to Kansas City, which we picked Kansas City to win. So we're 5-5 going into the bye week.
You don't
And
think that's
host-
possible, Ryan? That feels very
No.
possible to me.
Not at all. I don't see that. in
Why? Just because of how they've been the last 2 years?
Yes.
So a
Historically,
team with
bad
2
team.
number
Trevor
1
Lawrence-
picks can't get better?
Yes, Trevor Lawrence looked bad last year, and I don't think that he is what people think he is. So, and I know that they have a win coming up against Tennessee here soon, so we already picked that. We have I don't know, man. I don't see them more as like more than like a 6 or 7 win team, but it looks like we're gonna have them going maybe 9-10.
Well, let's
pick them.
pick the Baltimore game and find out. So they're home against Baltimore.
Yeah,
I'll take
I'm
the
gonna
Ravens.
go Baltimore.
At Detroit, which I know you guys are both big fans of Detroit this year.
Well, we already picked the Lions, and apparently we had them losing that game, which I don't agree with, but we'll give the Jaguars the win then.
At Tennessee, which we already picked the Jaguars to win. Home against Dallas.
I'm gonna go Dallas, and I'm gonna go Jets and Houston coming up after that.
Yeah, I'll go Dallas.
You're picking the Jets, Ryan. So, Rob, who are you picking there?
In all honesty, I would pick.
I just want to take a peek at the Jets' schedule to see what they got going around that game. So let's see.
I would pick Jacksonville in that game. If I had to right now say who's going to win, Jacksonville or the Jets, I would say that Jacksonville will win that game. So I will pick Jacksonville. I disagree with the rest of the schedule that you guys have created here, but yeah.
The Jets play Detroit before Jacksonville and Seattle the week after, which are 2 pretty winnable games. I'll go Jacksonville.
So that's a win for Jacksonville then?
Yeah.
At Houston.
I don't feel good about it either way, but I'm going to go Houston there. Divisional team. Play them hard.
Going Houston.
Yeah.
All right. And then finish the season hosting Tennessee. We already picked Tennessee to win that game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7.
6, 7, 8. 8 and 9. Might not be good enough for the playoffs, but I think it's going to be close.
Considering the Titans are 10-7, and I believe the Colts we're going to end up with probably around 10-7 or maybe even higher. I don't feel good for your Jaguars, Anthony.
What do you think their over-under is?
7.5.
It's got to be lower than that. I'll go 5.5.
Right in the middle, 6.5.
Okay.
We had them
Which-
9.
8.
That's going to be my first bet of the year right there.
I'd be willing to bet the over there too.
Yeah, see,
Not
I'm bringing Rob aboard the Jacksonville train.
I'm not aboard they're going to win the division or make the playoffs or even really sniff it, because I think there's going to be a lot of 10-7, 9-8 teams, but I could easily see them winning 7, going 7-10.
Well, what's going to happen here is, according to if what we picked happens, they're going to go into New York, Week 16. They're going to beat the Jets. They're going to be 8-7 with a potential to play the Houston and Tennessee to finish out the season 10-7.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be exciting for Jaguars fans if that is the case. If they are 8-7 at that point and they got to go play Houston and Tennessee at home.
What a letdown that would be, huh?
It would be.
I know.
That would be so Jaguar-like. Like that's what
it
they
would be.
do.
It almost feels perfect.
I'd be insufferable if they're 8-7 going to play Houston.
You're not going to want to listen to this podcast.
All right.
I mean, of course you're going to want to
one.
listen to the podcast.
Let's get to the next one. Let's spin the wheel. And
All right, let me share the screen.
You can just keep the screen up if you want, Rob. I can click it on and off.
Okay, yeah, let's do that from now on. 20 teams left. Let's spin the wheel.
but most of the games are already picked, so it'll be very quick once we get to like 10 teams left.
Here comes the Jets.
Jets.
Oh, see, now you're doing it. I did the JETS thing a few episodes ago, and you were like, why did you just do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about the Jets, man.
We've
Something about
got
our podcast and the Jets.
We've got Zach Wilson potentially missing the first game or two, depending on what happens with his injury.
Might not be bad for him.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco has been lighting up camp. Haven't you heard?
Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl, Ryan.
I don't dislike Joe Flacco. I like Joe Flacco more than I like the Jaguars winning 8 games.
So what you're saying is 3-0 start and he keeps the job? Let's see.
Absolutely not. There's a 0% chance at that. If he was 3-0 and he threw like 15 touchdowns and 3 picks in those 3 games, then maybe.
That's like his Super Bowl run, right? That's about what his stats were in that Super Bowl run.
Well, who do you talk about a transition? Who do you have winning the Joe Flacco redemption game when the Jets play Baltimore at home? Week 1
game. Wow.
I am gonna go Baltimore.
I just wish there was more positive news out of Jets camp. Like, injury aside, it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of hype. Like, this is the time of year where you usually see this player is doing excellent, whatever. Like, you've seen it with the Packers and Romeo Dubs. It doesn't make me feel great about my hot take that the Jets finish above the Patriots, but we'll see here with how we pick it. With that being said, I'm going to go Ravens.
That also being said, we picked the Patriots to go 5-12.
We did.
So we're also sore Bills fans that just got beat up by the Patriots for most of our lives. So
yeah, I apologize to any Patriot listeners, but you could probably understand where we're coming from as Bills fans.
Have some empathy for us.
Now that we finally have the best quarterback in the division, we're just going to ride it for as long as we can. 0-1 traveling to Cleveland and probably some of the most dysfunctional franchises in the NFL.
I'm taking the Jets.
I think
Joe Flacco versus Jacoby Brissett is what we're looking at for that game, right?
Fantastic game. I'm going to go Jets also.
Home against Cincinnati, week 3.
Yeah, I'm going Cincinnati. I would also say that Cleveland needs to win that game against the Jets if they want any shot at making the playoffs when Watson's back week 13.
They don't have a realistic shot, right?
No, they don't have a realistic shot, but I'm saying if any chance they need to beat Cleveland, or they need to beat the Jets in week 2.
I think the
Well-
AFC is just too strong this year.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll get to Cleveland's schedule and whenever we get there. But if you
It's
guys
not looking good.
if you guys take a look at it, it's not looking good. Week 4 is at Pittsburgh, and we have the Jets winning that game. So we have them starting 2-2, then hosting Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami's a much better team. I don't think this is even a thought for me. I'm going to go Miami.
I'd like to see what that series has been in recent years, but I'll take Miami also. I just want to point out, because Ryan, you were making some faces on the Jets over the Steelers pick. We did have Pittsburgh starting 2-1 before that game.
Okay.
So I think that kind of played into it, where it was like, are they really going to start 3-1?
Upset game.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. That makes sense.
All right, so with 2-3 going to Green Bay, which we've already picked the Jets to lose. So it's 2-4 heading to Denver.
That's a Broncos win for me.
Yeah. Broncos for me as well.
All right, 2-5 hosting New England, which we've already picked the Patriots to win that game. So we're looking at 2-6 hosting Buffalo.
Not looking good for my hot take.
I'm going to go Jets there.
I might need to if I want the Jets to finish ahead of the Patriots here, but I'll go Buffalo.
Wow, I was about to be just floored.
Were you serious picking the Jets? I mean, that's fine if you were. I was just curious.
Wait, did I say Jets?
You did.
No, I meant Buffalo.
Okay. That's why when you said you were going to be floored, I was like, what? You just picked them.
I was distracted because Anthony made the Denver red game darker than all the other ones, so I was wondering if he was thinking that Denver's going to absolutely slaughter the Jets in that game, so he just made it super red.
There's a couple, like we got the Cleveland Chargers game is very red too, I see.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking at that and I was like, man, that's going to be a bad game for the Jets. So I was distracted.
I think you're underestimating how hard it is to change the color, keep track of the record, and try to ask you guys questions all at one time.
You just got to click the same one each time.
At Ultraflex Sutton, you're doing a fantastic job hosting.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. I agree.
At the Patriots, we have already picked the Patriots to sweep that season series. And then it's home against Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jets.
I also will go with the Jets.
And then it's at Minnesota.
I am high on Minnesota this year, but
you got to say it's a pretty tough last place schedule that the Jets have to play this year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Minnesota there. Although, Rob, you really need Minnesota to lose that game.
Yeah, but I can't do it. I don't see Minnesota losing that game. Because really, at this point, the Jets are already out of it. If this is their record at this point, and Minnesota's probably fighting for the playoffs.
Yeah.
At Buffalo the following week.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute annihilation game.
With the way we've picked these games so far, Week 14 might be to clinch the division for Buffalo. So yeah, give me Buffalo.
Home against Detroit.
God, I like Detroit.
We already picked Detroit.
Yeah.
And then the next game is hosting Jacksonville, which we've already picked Jacksonville to win that game. And then the following game is at Seattle, which we have picked the Jets to win that game. And then the last game of the year is at Miami.
That seems like a perfect chance for if Miami's competitive and
yeah, go ahead.
You know, it's that setup. It's like when Miami went in and who they beat the Patriots to send someone to the playoffs. Was it the Bills?
No.
Oh, I'm just making up stories in my head. But I do remember Miami going in and winning on like a lateral play.
They beat the Patriots, but I don't remember who. It did send somebody to the playoffs,
yeah,
I believe. But yeah, I can't pick. I struggle to pick any team to go 0-6 in the division, so I'm definitely picking the Jets to win that game.
Yeah, I'm picking Jets too. So that means that they just went 5-12 according to
5-12. Both the Jets and the Pats are 5-12, so you're not that far off.
And the Pats have the tiebreaker because they beat the Jets twice. So, unfortunately, Rob's prediction.
Yeah, there's no tiebreakers for being 5-12. That would just be a push. They tied.
Okay,
it's the same record.
I'm interested to pick the Dolphins schedule because there's no way the AFC East is going to be that bad, or is it? Let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
Bringing it up. Let's go. Oh, we got to take the Jets out of there first.
Yep, I was just looking to make sure. Take the Jets out. Because the last time we got lucky, but I left the Raiders in there. I don't know if you noticed. I was like, oh no, I hit the wheel and it's going to land on the Raiders again. Well, the chances were about 1-21, so pretty low.
But wait, is it the same if it's for them to do it twice in a row? I'm not good with statistics. Okay.
Who do we have? Is it the Bills?
Oh, here it is. Let's go.
Bills.
All right. Ultraflex Fantasy Football picks the Buffalo Bills. And we're starting off with the very first game of the NFL season. The Rams get their ring, and the Bills get the dub, is my prediction. But I'll let you guys make the pick.
I'm going.
It's coming up soon, right, guys? I mean, what do we got? Less than 3 weeks?
20 days.
Yes. Give me the Bills in that Super Bowl hangover game, as I've been talking about.
1-0, hosting Tennessee, which we've already picked. So we have the Bills winning that game, starting the year 2-0, going to Miami in week 3.
I know you don't want it to happen, but the Super Bowl favorites got to win their home opener.
I understand, but Tennessee's just had their number every year for.
It's been 2 straight. Before that, the Bills won 3 straight, I believe it was. 'Cause I looked at it earlier.
It just feels like so much longer than that for some reason.
It's because the last 2 games were kind of big games.
Yeah. All right. Well, against Miami, at Miami, I'm gonna go Bills.
Yeah, I will too.
3-0, going to Baltimore.
Much as I want to pick the Bills to go undefeated, I'm going to take the Ravens just because their first 6 games are their toughest games on their schedule. If they go 6-0, we're going to already be planning the parade, but I don't want to pick it.
I mean, as I look through the schedule, we have the Bills to win every game that we've matched. We have them on here.
And I said, as much as I want to pick them undefeated.
Yeah, I got to go Baltimore there as well.
All right, the next 2 games we've already picked. So we're 3-1 heading to Pittsburgh. We have the Bills winning that game. 4-1 at Kansas City. We have the Bills winning that game. 5-1 heading into the bye, where we would then face the Green Bay Packers coming off a bye, and it's in Buffalo. So we have the Bills winning that game.
Big Sunday night football game off the bye.
At the Jets is the next game. We have the Bills winning that one, and now it's home against Minnesota.
Listen, I said I like Minnesota. I don't see the Bills going 16-1. I think 15 and I think 14-3 is probably more likely. So I'm gonna go Minnesota there.
Yeah, that's a game I could see them losing after, the big win Sunday night over the Packers, taking care of business against the Jets. A game where they might struggle to cover Justin Jefferson, or even maybe Dalvin Cook runs the ball on them, and they just don't have the offense clicking. It's bound to happen in one of those games. So
Yeah,
this one feels like the right spot to make that happen. So give me the Vikings as well.
At this point, Cleveland is 1 week away from getting Watson back, and they're probably pretty defeated at this point. So who do you guys have winning?
Oh, the Bills are pissed after that loss against the Vikings. Big win for the Bills.
yeah.
Then going to Detroit, I believe that's on Thanksgiving. I don't have
It is.
actual, Detroit on Thanksgiving, where Josh Allen and the team have gone off on Thanksgiving before.
The Bills seem to be the new Thanksgiving team, huh? Maybe they should just get a game every year. They seem to win it.
I'm gonna go Bills.
And then we've picked the next two games. One is at New England. We've had the Bills winning that game, and then hosting the New York Jets. Bills winning that game. This is the second Miami game. Do they split the series, or do the Bills sweep it?
If you want a team who's had another team's number, it's the Bills against the Dolphins. The Dolphins just have no answer for Josh Allen since he came into the league. Even when Josh Allen struggled his rookie year and most of his second year, the Dolphins still couldn't stop Josh Allen. They've never shown they can. I'm not going to pick them to stop them until I see them have a plan for Josh Allen. So, Bills.
I don't feel good about Miami winning that game.
At Chicago the following week.
That's a win for the Bills.
Yeah, this is the point, though, where we start saying, well, maybe they already have this division locked up, but you're not sitting starters 3 weeks out of the playoffs, right?
No.
I don't think so. So, Bills.
And then at Cincinnati is the week after that. So 2 road games in a row. Cincinnati's probably fighting for a playoff spot at this moment.
It could potentially be fighting for the number 1 seed. I mean, probably not just based on how we've picked the Bills so far. Like, I think that record probably has it locked up. But
give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll go Bills because I want to get Anthony's opinion here on one of these. So,
I mean, picking any team to go 15-2 is hard. So I would, if it got to week 17, I'm probably picking the Bills to win this game. But because of the other games, I'm going to let that kind of affect my decision and say the Bills lose this game and go 14-3. Because we already have the next game picked, and we have them beating New England to end the season. Even I think we said last time, even the Bills' backups, if they were sitting their starters, would beat New England.
Just crapping on New England.
So 14-3, right?
Yeah, that's tied for the best record in the league with Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm thinking the over-under for the Bills has to be less than that.
I know what this one is.
I'll
let Ryan guess.
I'm gonna guess 13 and a half.
11 and a half, right?
No way.
11 and a half.
11 and a half.
Yeah, it's tied. I believe it's tied with. Well, it was Tampa, but maybe that one's gone down.
Really?
The Rams maybe were also 11 and a half. There was like 2 or 3 teams that were 11 and a half.
So we did pick him to beat at the Rams, at Kansas City, Green Bay.
It's easy to see them. I mean, you could honestly say they might start 3-3 going into the bye pretty easily. So
yeah, if they lose to the Rams week 1 and then Tennessee, like you said, Brian, it has someone has their number, comes in, they could start 0-2, and then the panic button hits.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't think you're panicking with Josh Allen as your quarterback.
even if they lose those two, then it's a get right game for them against Miami because, like we've talked about, they can't stop Allen. That would be the panic button if they start 0-3. But again, even that, I wouldn't be too worried. I don't think. If they go to that bye at 1-5, that's where you get worried.
Even then, it's a good team, and I don't see them going 1-5.
2-4 isn't the end of the world. 1-5 is pretty close to it.
Yeah.
As a Super Bowl favorite, that would be tough.
All right.
All right, back to the wheel.
Back to the wheel.
We'll take the Bills out.
Looks like so many teams left, but once we get these a little bit more games filled in here,
rattle off quick.
I would love to get Houston here.
Let's go.
And
is it going to click? It is.
Oh man,
the Chicago Bears.
1-16.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Not high on Chicago.
Thought we lost Anthony there.
Oh, okay. We don't actually have sponsors, in case you were wondering.
Okay. There we go. So we got
Why, you thought you lost
Bears. Yeah, I thought you were gone.
Oh, no. Bears. We've already picked the first two games. We have first week they host the San Francisco 49ers. We have the 49ers winning that game, and then they go to Green Bay. So pretty brutal start the first 2 weeks. We have them going 0-2 and then hosting Houston.
And I think Houston is God, that's a bad game. I think Houston.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'll take Houston.
I think Houston has the better quarterback. Is that spicy?
Yeah, probably a little bit, but shouldn't be.
Ryan, you think you pick Houston as well?
Yeah, I already said Houston. Sorry.
At the New York Giants after an 0-3 start.
My fear is that we did pick the Giants to win a couple. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go Giants.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm going Bears. I mean Bears. I thought you were saying Bears. I'm going Bears. You tricked me because you said, "Oh, we had the Giants winning one."
I know. I tricked myself.
I'm gonna pick the Giants. I feel like they have the better roster. I think Justin Fields is the more fun quarterback. But I think overall the Giants have the better roster and better coach. So 0-4 heading to Minnesota.
We got to pick some wins here. We might have them go winless.
I'm gonna say Minnesota. I don't see Minnesota with that high-powered offense going into Cleveland. Yeah, going into Chicago. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. Chicago's going into Minnesota for this game.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, 0-5 hosting Washington.
I don't think Washington's a bad team, and
yeah, I'm going. It's Washington. We've given Washington way too many losses for that roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Wentz is probably an improvement over what they had last year, despite the camp reports. So,
all right, so 0-6 going to New England, week 7, which we've already picked New England to win that game. So 0-7 going to Dallas.
I'm definitely not picking the Bears to beat Dallas.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
0-8. At what point is the talk of Justin Fields not being your starting quarterback? Is it
I mean,
0-8?
Oh,
I
it's
was
already started.
I was going to say when they played the Giants that I think the Giants have the better quarterback on their team, and I'm not talking about Daniel Jones.
If you start 0-5, I think that's when is it time to give up on Justin Fields starts, which it probably shouldn't because that team's a disaster. I mean, the line's not great, and they didn't give Fields really any weapons that
It,
are any good, really.
it's not fair to Justin Fields, and
Their
I
first
think
rookie was a 25-year-old rookie wide receiver, which what are you going to get out of that? I don't know.
that team seems like it's in disarray for sure.
I feel like they have to win one of these next 3 games, but we'll see if it plays out that way. They're hosting Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami's just a much better team.
All right, I'm just looking at Miami's schedule around that area just to get an idea. Play at Detroit the week before and home against Cleveland the week after. That's still the Watson-less Cleveland Browns. It could be a nice stretch for Miami. Yeah, I'll take the Dolphins.
All right. 0-9 hosting Detroit.
We already had Detroit losing that game.
Really?
We did.
Wow. Okay.
The Bears get their first win of the year, 1-9, going to Atlanta.
I was going to pick them to beat Atlanta, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta.
Only because Atlanta's home there. I think those are probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL. Well,
Seattle.
Yeah.
1-10
Few bad
going
teams this year.
to the Jets, which we've already picked the Jets to win that game. The following game is hosting Green Bay when we've picked Green Bay to win that game. Then they are another team with the super late bye, week 14 bye. The following game is hosting the Eagles. We've already picked the Eagles to win that game. And then hosting Buffalo, we've already picked the Bills to win that game. And then we've already picked Detroit to split the season series and win the game in week 17. So now we are 1-16 hosting Minnesota. Do they pick up that second win?
Minnesota's probably playing for playoffs right in that game.
They might be. I'm still giving it to the Bears.
Oh my. That would be a massive letdown. That would be reminiscent of like the Jaguars going in and beating the Colts last year for winning it.
I also just want to point out, just because I'm looking at what we've already picked, we already have 6 wins and 1 loss for Minnesota.
I know. I looked at that earlier too, but I think that when
we're giving them too much credit. Just looking, I mean, they're a fine team. I don't think they're a 11 or 12 win team. So
I know I agree with that. All right, I'm fine with making it win against Minnesota week 18.
If I had to break the tie, I was going to pick Minnesota to lose that game for the same reason as I picked the Bills to lose at Cincinnati. It's just hard to pick someone to go 1-17 now, I guess.
Yeah.
So 2-16
or 16. No, yeah.
And the Bears defense isn't like super bad, right? I mean, it's not great, but
2-15.
They might be able to steal a game there for them.
2-15. All right, let's keep the Ultraflex After Dark rolling.
Can I guess the over under as being 4.5 for the Bears?
I'll guess 5.5.
It is.
I hope it's 5.5 because I'm about the under right now.
It is 6.5.
I was going to say it might even be higher than that. I don't think we're giving them enough credit just because I think their defense is enough to keep them in games where they'll probably pull a couple of those out that we gave them losses on. So,
Like who though? I mean,
They could beat the Jets. They could
they
beat
can beat
Atlanta.
Houston. They can beat the Giants. They can beat the Jets. They can beat the Patriots. They could beat Washington. Like these are all winnable games that we gave them losses on.
Right. Those are all. I mean, maybe we should have given them like 2 more or 3 more of those, but that still only gets them to 5. We still had them beat like the Minnesota. We had them beat a good Detroit team. A better Detroit team.
Yeah, let's not anoint them as good yet. I am high on them, but
they're good on paper. How's that?
I will say this: at 6.5, I have a strong lean towards the under, but I don't think it's out of the question that Fields something clicks and he does end up being a solid quarterback where he can lead them to 7 or 8 wins.
7 or 8 wins. That would be.
I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not saying I'd bet on it, but I think it's in the realm of possibility that it could happen. This is the same way with the Jaguars, where it's like, okay, they just took a young quarterback who struggled for a year. Maybe something clicks. It happened with the Bills and Josh Allen. It's not impossible.
At least the Jaguars gave, whatever his name is, weapons. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, not great weapons, but they gave.
Hey, and that's why we picked the Jaguars 8-9, and we picked the Bears 2-15.
That's why the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs.
Good Lord.
So yeah, if you wanted me to bet there, I'm saying bet the under. So far today we have bet the under on the Bears. Anthony and I are betting the over on the Jaguars. And I believe the rest of them we kind of said, well, we didn't say one way or the other on the Bills, but I'd lean the over.
Yeah, I would go over for the Bills, and I would go under for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
All right. Next team it is. Ryan, you should break this up with some karaoke.
Are we doing that?
No, while he spins the wheel, sing.
My gosh, I need like background music, bro.
Ah, my Lanta.
All right, I got this for the next one. I'm ready for the next one.
Oh, it was a perfect opportunity for some country music because we got the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my god! Sorry.
All right. America's team. They start out. Will Tom Brady be there or will he not be? We will find out, but they are hosting Tampa Bay week 1 in prime time.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Seems like there's a lot of injuries happening for the Bucs right now. Even looking past the Brady stuff, which might just be nothing and not matter in the long run. And I think Dallas is a good team. I'll go Dallas at home.
I think Dallas at home has probably the better roster. I think Tom Brady covers up a lot of things no matter what team he's on. So I'm going to pick Dallas to win that game. Cincinnati at home. That's a tough 2-week stretch. If you don't beat Tampa Bay, then you got to host Cincinnati. What do you think?
I like the Cowboys to start 2-0.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Then
we've been talking about the Rams Super Bowl hangover. It's possible the Bengals could have a little bit of one also.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't win it, but they went there. So
week 3 going to the Giants.
I'm going to go Dallas.
Yep, Dallas for me.
3-0. Dallas fans are going crazy. They're talking about a parade, just like the Bills would be if they were 6-0. And now they host Washington in week 4.
And there's a letdown game right there after those 3 big wins. We kind of talked about how we've been picking against Washington in every game.
Yeah,
And I don't think they're as bad as we've been talking them up to be. So this is a good spot, especially since we had the Cowboys starting 3-0 for a letdown game. Washington gets their first win of the season based on what we've picked. So,
All right, 3-1 going to the Rams.
give me the Rams.
yeah, Rams.
All right, now we're
They're the better
3-2. We've already picked the next game, which is at Philly. We had the Cowboys going in to Philly and winning that game. So they're 4-2 hosting Detroit on week 7.
We have them winning that game, it looks like. Already.
Yes.
All right. For some reason, I keep skipping over the Detroit games we already picked. So we are 5-2 after week 7. Next game is Chicago. We've already picked that game. We have the Cowboys winning that game. So now we are 6-2 heading into the bye where they face the Green Bay Packers. Week 10, we have the Packers winning that game. So now it's 6-3 heading to Minnesota.
I'm gonna go Dallas there.
Yeah. I think if they lose to the Packers, they'll bounce back against the Vikings.
Which is scary because their schedule coming up is weak. So we might be picking Dallas to do like an 11-12 win season here.
7-3 hosting the New York Giants.
Because I'm not picking the Giants. to win that
Well,
game.
this is another division, though, that seems to always end up pretty close. So I'll go Giants since we had the Cowboys win that first one.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys.
I'm going to go Cowboys as well. Just at home, I don't think the Giants have the roster to compete with the Cowboys. While I don't disagree that those games are always ugly and somehow close. Following week is hosting Indianapolis.
I'm gonna go Indy there, but I don't.
I think Dallas is the better team, and they're at home. So I'm going to stick with Dallas despite what might end up being a nice long win streak here.
So do they really have 3 home games in a row against the Giants, the Colts, and Houston? Because that's the next game is hosting Houston.
Wow. What did we end up deciding with that last game there?
Looks like you picked Indy, Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys split. Yeah, I would pick Indy to win that game.
Okay. So you gotta make that red. There you go. All right. So I'm gonna go Dallas against Houston. Dallas wins that. Or should I say Houston against Dallas?
I will say Dallas wins that also.
All right. We've already picked the next game, which is at Jacksonville. We picked the Cowboys to win that game. We picked the Eagles and the Cowboys to split their season series. So we have the Eagles winning in week 16. And the following week is at Tennessee, which we have the Titans winning. And we're finishing up at Washington.
But for the division, what do we got here? 11 wins so far.
Does Washington sweep them?
Philly 12. So we're coming out of the tiebreakers.
You know what? I'm fine with that. I'm good with picking Washington to somehow sweep the Cowboys because the Cowboys swept the Giants.
I'm also all aboard Philly winning that division, so I don't even want to leave it up to tiebreakers. So, I mean, I hate picking them to lose 3 straight after that hot,
Do you though? It's the Cowboys. I mean,
yeah, no, I don't. All right, yeah, I don't hate it. I'm fine with that. I don't necessarily like the Cowboys. I just don't think it's likely.
So 11-6. I would bet their over/under is probably like 9.5.
I think that's what the Eagles were, and yeah, I think that's probably right.
9.5 is correct.
Because they probably have pretty equal odds to win that division.
Yeah, they'd have a weak schedule, though. That seemed really weak going through that. That might be one that I would think about taking the over on.
If they can make it through the first 2 weeks,
It's
with Tampa
it's
and
those
Cincy.
first 2 games. That's going to be where the season swings.
That's true.
All right, on to the next one, and Ryan's going to come in with some karaoke.
Putting the pressure on me. I went to work with her that summer.
Oh, come on,
Your
one
teenage kid so far from home. She was a lonely widowed woman, hell bent to make it on her own.
We almost got the Texans for another round of country for you.
The
Denver Broncos.
That's got to be your Ryan. That's got to be your in between the spin job. Whatever music the city is most known for, that's got to be your singing.
Good Lord, what is Denver known for?
Some stoner music.
That was the
Maybe
first thing that came to my mind. Too.
You could do some yodeling. They got the mountains, right?
Oh, you want me to yodel?
Maybe.
You
No,
know
you
some
don't.
Bob. You know some Bob Marley.
We got to move on. I don't know any Bob Marley, really.
All right.
do.
Let's
All
get
right.
going. Broncos, week 1. What do we got?
Week 1, they're at Seattle. We already picked that game. We picked Denver to win 1-0. Week 2, they host Houston.
I'm taking Denver.
All right. They are 2-0, hosting San Francisco in week 3. We've already picked that game. We picked Denver to win and start the year 3-0. And then they travel to the Las Vegas Raiders in week 4, which we picked them to lose. So they're 3-1. Week 5, hosting Indy. I feel like Indy keeps coming up.
Does Indy play everybody this year?
Indy a lot. Yeah. Broncos home Indy.
Yeah, I'm going
Broncos
for sure on that.
Broncos are looking at the LA Chargers the following week. That is a big time look ahead game. Indy. Yeah,
We just had to lose to the Raiders.
Oh, that's fine because they have the Jets in Jacksonville before their bye to make anything right that happens here in the next few weeks.
All right, well, I'm going Broncos. You're going Indy?
Yes.
Anthony?
I think
I really struggle to see. We already have them winning 3-1 plus the 2 games before the bye. I just don't see a 6-2 or 7-1 start before the bye. There's got to be some rust there.
I'm also looking at Indy's schedule.
There's some rust there.
So I should rephrase that. It's not rust. It is Russ, and he's gonna have to adjust to his new team.
Oh my gosh, dude, you are a rap master right now. Rust.
That was pretty good.
I'll pick Denver to win that game at home. I think those teams are very evenly matched. I think it's always hard to go into Denver and win. It's probably going to be like a 4-25 game that we all fall asleep to on the couch while we watch. So I'm going to pick Denver to win that game.
So you're saying Indy's going to go into Denver and bust?
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying to keep the rhyme going.
At the Los Angeles Chargers, week 6, 4-1 at this point.
I have some sort of lust affair with the Broncos, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, the way this is breaking down, we're gonna have Denver and the Chargers both being like 14-3. It could happen. But
I think Denver's going to be on the cusp of winning the Super Bowl here, so I'm going Denver.
I wanted to go Denver until you picked them to win against Indy. I was going to have them flip flopped, so I'll go Chargers here.
Anthony, you should trust me and go Denver.
All right, that's enough out of you.
Oh, I didn't even know you guys are still like betting on.
Yeah, I think I also have a hard time seeing them start whatever 7-1 or whatever it is. So I think they lose to the Chargers. So we are 4-2 after week 6, and then we've already picked the next 3 games. The next one is hosting the New York Jets, which we have Denver winning. We have Jacksonville at home, which we have Denver winning. Then there's a bye week, and then traveling to Tennessee, which we have Tennessee winning. And then we host the Las Vegas Raiders,
Which we already picked as well.
picked.
I just filled that one in. Sorry.
The Raiders to win that game. Denver to win that game. And then week 12, they go to Carolina. And we have Denver winning that game. And then back-to-back road games where they go to Baltimore in week 13.
Yeah, give me Baltimore that game.
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore also.
All right. So we picked the next 2 games. Hosting Kansas City, we picked Denver to win that game, and then Arizona is at home as well, and we picked Denver to win that game. The following game is Week 16 at the Rams.
I'm gonna say Rams.
Yeah, I have a pretty strong lean towards the Rams there.
All right. So they lose to the Rams. We've already picked the next game, which is at Kansas City. We have Kansas City winning that game. So the Kansas City-Denver season series is a split. And what do we have for a record right now? We have the last game of the year is home against the Chargers.
We got
10-6.
10-6.
Yeah, we got 6 losses right now. I think they split. We had them losing the last one to the Chargers, so give me the win.
I agree.
All right, 11-6 to end
Talk
the
about
year.
a tough end to your season. At Baltimore, Kansas City, Arizona, at LA Rams, at Kansas City, Chargers.
Well, they did have a cake start. So
yeah. So maybe they really do need to go 6-2 probably at minimum before the bye, just because of what comes after the bye. So they can't afford a slow start.
All right, 11-6, and we need a lot of karaoke from Ryan, so we can get a little halftime/third quarter break. We're late into the night here in Ultraflex Fantasy Football After Dark. Now is a good time to do a shout out for our Twitter feed. We will post all of our division winners on Twitter at UltraflexFFP. You can find me at Ultraflex Sutton. You can find Ryan at Ultraflex Ryan, and you can find Rob at Ultraflex Rob. But we are going to break up this spin the wheel and let Ryan sing his beautiful, beautiful vocals.
I need a song. Can you give me a song?
How about, since we are the Ultraflex Fantasy Football Podcast, where we have fun with our friends while we talk about football, let's do Friends in Low Places.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. Last one to know. I was the last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the
Get
fear
it.
in his eyes. What?
I said, get it.
When I took his glass of champagne, I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through. You'll never hear me complain. Wow, just hit that note so good. Cause I've got
Friends in low places.
where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues.
Blues away.
But
I'm back.
Be okay.
All right. Thank you for coming to the late night session with DJ Anthony and my singer Ryan Wheeler. Let's get back to spinning the wheel. We've got a couple teams left here. It's going to start going quicker and quicker because more and more games we've already picked.
Spin it.
Here
we go. Now we decide how many games the Bills win the division by because we are picking the Miami Dolphins. Miami starts the year with New England. We picked that game already. We picked Miami to win that game. So they're going to start the year 1-0, and then they're going to Baltimore.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah.
1-1. Then they host the Buffalo Bills week 3. We've already picked that game. We picked the Bills to win that game. So Miami starts the year off 1-2. Week 4, the Dolphins head to Cincinnati.
I'm gonna go Cincinnati.
Yeah, I will too. I thought about the Dolphins there, but
So Miami starts the year off 1-3. Then they go to the New York Jets, which we've already picked the Miami Dolphins to win that game. So they are 2-3. Again, I feel like we've talked about Indy and Minnesota for pretty much every team, but Miami hosts Minnesota in week 6.
I'm gonna go Miami there.
Minnesota for me. Just looking ahead at their next schedule coming up, the next 4 weeks, I can't see them rattling off 6 straight wins. So it's got to be Minnesota for me.
I just think Miami's a good team this year. I know it sounds crazy for them to win 6 straight, but they did just lose 3. I mean, what did they win last year? They won how many in a row? 8?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah, I feel like Miami
A very
at
different
home,
team this year, though.
I feel like
Yeah,
Miami at home wins that game with their. I feel like they have the potential to have an explosive offense. So I will pick Miami to win that game as well. And they start the year 3-3. Week 7, they go to Pittsburgh. We've already picked that game, and we picked Miami to win that game. So they are now 4-3, traveling to Detroit. We picked them to win that game. So now they are 5-3 after week 8, traveling to Chicago. That 3-game stretch right there is very easy for them, and they win at Chicago. So now they are 6-3. They're keeping pace somewhat with the Bills and at least keeping it entertaining in the division. And then they host Cleveland in week 10 with a 6-3 record.
Yeah. Cleveland's got to win games before Watson comes.
Yeah, that's another team. I mean, they're still decent even without Watson. They're not terrible.
They have a great offensive line, great running backs.
They're almost like Washington, right?
Yeah.
Without the quarterback, like it's real similar. If they don't have Watson,
yeah. I'm gonna go.
We've had them lose almost every game, so yeah, I'm good with giving Cleveland a win. If you are,
Yeah, I'm good.
So they are 6-4 heading into their bye week. When they come out of the bye week, they host Houston.
Houston. What have we done for Houston? Let's see.
Like nothing so far.
Yeah, we gave Houston a win over Chicago and Jacksonville. That's it so far.
Man, that's a game that
Off the
Miami
bye,
should-
though. Yeah, Miami should win that.
Yeah, I'm going Miami. Why?
All
We
right.
had to think pretty hard about that, though.
7-4 traveling. Ooh, they have as easy as that middle stretch was. They go to San Francisco, to the Chargers, and to Buffalo. 3-game stretch here.
That's their brutal stretch of the season.
I think they win one of those games.
So let's see. I know we picked the 49ers. We just forgot to fill that in. We had the Niners win that game.
Okay, so I guess I could see them beating the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers aren't some like juggernaut team like some people are talking them up to be. They have a lot of talent. I mean, they're definitely loaded with talent. But
They have a lot of talent every year and never do anything with it.
Exactly. And they didn't make the playoffs last year, and maybe they don't this year. I mean, I think we're going to pick them to, but
Yeah,
it's not impossible that they miss again.
All right, so they're 7-4 after the Houston game. We picked them to lose to San Fran. So 7-5, 8-5 with the win over the Chargers. Then the hard stretch continues when they lose to Buffalo, and then we have them hosting the Green Bay Packers and losing that game, and then losing at New England in week 17. And then the remaining game is the last game of the year against the New York Jets. We've already picked the Jets to win that game.
ooh,
Brutal end to the season.
8-9. Is that
Is
right?
that what it was? Or was it 7?
8.
Yeah, 8.
I mean, that's probably right around. That's got to be right on.
It's got to be close to the
over-under.
8.5 feels right there.
I think 8.5. I think
It could even be 7.5.
I was gonna say. I think
Just
7.5.
looking-
might be their-
It's not an easy schedule. It has a very easy stretch in the middle, but
It's 9.5.
easy.
No, it's not.
It's 9.5, bro.
It's 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hype around them. I could see it.
I mean,
They
I
set
like.
those lines to get people to bet them. So
I just Google it really quick. So depending on your book, you could probably find 8.5. You could probably find 9.5, depending on what book you want to look at.
Wow.
All right.
I wouldn't. I don't recommend betting that one either way.
No.
Personally,
We've got a lot of
It-
colors on this graph. We don't have
it
many.
feels a
games.
little high, if anything. But
So we don't have many games left here. It's already starting to pick up. On to the next one. Most of these games, I would say 75% of the games are already picked, so we'll be able to get through this pretty quick.
let's do it.
Probably more than 75%.
Here comes the marching Saints.
Here's Ryan's team. Finally,
Martin Jameis Winston.
It is about dang time we get to pick some wins for New Orleans.
All right. They start the year off with 3 division games in a row. So big start to the year for New Orleans at Atlanta, week 1.
Wait a minute. Is it New Orleans or is it New Orleans?
I don't know.
Okay.
I hear both ways. I call it New Orleans, but
Or is it New Orleans?
Nolans.
I think
It's Nolans.
It's definitely Nolans.
Okay, let's call them Nolans from now on. It's the Nolans Saints. I'm going to go New Nolans.
Oh,
Against
Anthony's over here turning it green before I even answer. Jeez. All right.
Well, I knew
I was-
Ryan's vote, and then I kind of gave you an idea of my vote.
I'm taking the Saints.
1-0 starts hosting Tampa Bay, which is a sneaky big game to start the year for them.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is not going to start off 0-2.
They're not starting 0-3 because we have them losing week 3 to Green Bay. So yeah,
You're right.
give me the Bucs.
1-1 to start the year. We have them going to Carolina and winning in week 3. Again, another team that plays Minnesota. So week 4. Who do you have? They host Minnesota. Who do you have there?
As much as it pains me,
I got Minnesota winning that game.
I think I'm picking Minnesota. Yeah.
All right. So
Who's
2-2
Who's the home team for that one?
New Orleans.
Okay, because
Are we sure about that?
we didn't have an @ symbol for either team there.
Oh, I don't know how
Sure.
then.
Oops.
2-2 to start the year. Then they host Seattle in week 5. We already picked that game when we picked the Saints to win. So it's 3-2.
You know why? Because it's a London game. It's technically a home game for the Saints.
Dang, that's crazy. They took a home game away from the Saints. Like the NFL. I mean, it's just.
I think it's going to start rotating. I think.
Yeah, I think it's every what?
Jaguars get one every year, and then I don't know however many years it is, but yeah, every team's going to get an international game.
3-2 to start the year because we have week 5 them beating Seattle at home, and then week 6 they host the Cincinnati Bengals. Rob, what do you think happens in week 6?
I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah.
All right, what is going on here between you two?
I can't. He can't stop laughing, which made me laugh because I was trying to be a professional and like talk through it and throw it over to Rob, but he's just over here crying like a baby.
Ryan's got to get it out of his system. Go ahead.
Oh God, I'm so late.
Ultraflex After Dark is getting the best of Ryan.
I cried a little bit there. Sorry, guys. Very emotional.
All right, the Saints host the Cincinnati Bengals.
Give me the Saints.
Yeah, I already took the Bengals, so
I will take. I like Joe Burrow goes back to New Orleans and puts on a show. So I'm going to pick the Bengals.
there's a sneaky storyline. I like it.
So they are 3-3 to start the year. We already picked the next 2 games at Arizona. We have Arizona winning, so 3-4, and then going to the Raiders, we have the Saints winning, so 4-4 hosting Baltimore.
Saints.
Yeah, I agree.
5-4. We picked the next game. Kind of surprise. I think this is one that Ryan gave us a hard time on. But going to Pittsburgh, we have the Steelers winning that game. And then the following week is hosting the Rams.
I'm going to go Saints there.
Yeah, I think I will too.
All right.
Let's take the upset pick.
Yeah. And we give the
6-4.
Rams a lot of wins.
Yeah, I know we had the Rams losing a couple beginning of the year, but we've picked them a lot here through this stretch. So,
right.
After the Rams, they travel twice. First game is to San Fran.
We picked San Francisco to win that one. Sorry, we forgot to fill that one in.
Following one is at Tampa Bay.
Oh man, it does feel like New Orleans might get the best of Tampa Bay one of those games.
Yeah, I like the division aspect there. I'll give New Orleans a win.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Ooh, at Tampa Bay too. I like it.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
had them
Yeah.
flip-flop there.
We got a bye week and then host Atlanta.
New Orleans.
I just want to be careful not to pick Atlanta to only win one because that feels unlikely.
It also
Even
feels
though I think-
unlikely for Atlanta to go into New Orleans and win.
Yeah, off the bye. Yeah, fair enough.
All
Give me
right.
the Saints.
And then at Cleveland.
This is a Deshaun Watson game. I'm going to go Cleveland.
Yeah, same. That's a Christmas Day game, it looks like, right? I think it's a Christmas Day game.
All right, so they lose to Cleveland, and then we pick the next two games where they
Christmas Eve, sorry.
travel to Philly. We picked Philly to win that game, and then hosting Carolina to finish the year. And we have the Saints ending the year with a win. So what do we
9.
have? 1, 2,
Yep, 9 and 8.
9 and 8 for the Saints. What do you think their over/under is?
8.5.
I feel like we picked them pretty spot on. 8.5 feels
Feels
pretty
good.
good there. It could be 7.5. I don't think it's higher than 8.5.
It is 8.5.
Yeah,
All
that feels
right.
right.
It does feel good. So I'm not betting either way on that.
No, I wouldn't touch that one. That's a spot on line to me.
Yeah.
If you force me to pick one way or the other, I'd go under just because Jameis could get hurt. Who knows again with the knee? But
Yeah.
that'd be my only reasoning. Nothing else but a guess.
That's all of this is.
Okay,
It's all
Saints
just
out.
guessing. Anthony, you're here. Oh, goodbye. Peekaboo.
Let's
All right.
spin the wheel.
The Colts.
The Colts. The Indianapolis Colts. Here we go. I only get to pick. I've been wondering when we were going to get the Colts because I want to know who's going to win this division. And
We haven't picked Houston yet, though.
oh yeah, that's super important.
All right. Week 1, what do we got?
They're at Houston, Indianapolis at Houston. I'm definitely feeling Indianapolis that game.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. And
Week 2, we already picked Jacksonville to beat Indy, even though Ryan didn't like it.
well, for obvious reasons, I think. We're not going to have to pick many of these games. Holy crow.
Yeah, this one's pretty filled. I mean, think about how many we've already filled out today.
Yeah,
A lot
that's
of
true.
Indy has come up.
All right. So we got week 3 going. Kansas City's coming into Indianapolis, and we had Indianapolis losing that game. And then we have Indy hosting Tennessee Titans and winning. So they start off 2-2, and then they go to Denver, lose to the Broncos. So they are 2-3. They host Jacksonville, and we have them as winning that game week 6. And then going to Tennessee, and Tennessee gets their revenge, it looks like. So week 7, they lose to Tennessee at Tennessee, so that puts them at 3-4 to start the year. Is that correct? Yep.
That's correct. Yeah.
And now we got to pick
With a home game against Washington.
a home game against Washington. I feel like ever since we said that we need to get Washington some wins, we've given them a lot of wins.
Oh, we gave him 2.
That feels like a lot. Just kidding. It's probably more than I expected, but
I do think home game for the Colts. It is a Carson Wentz revenge game, though. Does that give you any pause, Ryan?
it does actually. I just think that the Colts are the second best team in that division, and my bias is going to affect this decision, but I'm going to pick Washington there.
I also want to point out, so they have a bye week 14. They have a late bye. So coming up, we have them beating New England in New England, the Raiders in Las Vegas, beating the Eagles at home, beating the Steelers at home, and beating the Cowboys in Dallas.
That seems almost...
It seems pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely need to give them the, I don't want to say easy win here, but the win that they'll be favored in that game for sure.
Yeah.
Probably by a pretty healthy amount, I would say. Maybe like a 6-point favorite there. So
you want to give them a win there?
I would, yeah. I'm thinking an Indy, but I just talked about how I don't want to give them that many wins in a row.
I'm going Washington. I mean, you can pick Indy if you want. We'll let Anthony settle this one. Anthony,
I'm just feeling like maybe
I was waiting for Rob's pick.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Indy, but I think we messed up with the amount of wins we gave them before. The problem being we didn't look at Indy's schedule when we picked these other teams to lose those games, right?
Right.
So looking at it now, we probably wouldn't say, yeah, Indy's going to rifle off 7 in a row or 6, whatever it is, before their bye. But
no, but we're going off.
Picked it, so.
You know, law of averages here. We'll get them fixed.
Yeah.
I think Indy is just the better team, and not taking the rest of the games into consideration. If we were just looking at Indy and Washington, I think we would pick Indy. So I'm picking Indy.
It's probably the right way to do it.
Okay. And then after that game, you've already touched on it, Rob, but they got at New England, at the Raiders. We picked them to win both of those games. Philly, we picked them to win that game. Pittsburgh, win that game. At Dallas, win that game. Their bye week, like you mentioned. And then at Minnesota is after the bye week.
I'm going to go Minnesota there.
Yeah, I agree.
And then home against the Chargers.
I'm going to go Chargers.
Just want to take a quick peek at how we've been picking the Chargers.
We have them.
Their schedule looks like we had them lose a couple before that, beating Tennessee, then going on the road to the Colts. A couple tough games to end the year. The Chargers there.
And then at the New York Giants.
I love the narrative coming up here, and I'm gonna pick the Colts to beat the Giants.
Yes, I agree. I can't bring myself to pick the Giants there. So
home against Houston.
And wouldn't it be just something if they win, they're in to the playoffs. They get the seed, the division, and because I believe they have 9 or 10 wins right now. If they can get that last win, they're over the Titans. They get, like I said, they win the AFC South. I'm gonna go Houston with that upset game. Watch the Colts lose twice in Week 18, back-to-back years, to vault themselves into the playoffs.
Yeah, because they just did that, right?
That was
this past. Yeah, they wouldn't do that again, right? Especially with they got Matt Ryan there now. I'll take the Colts.
Ryan, you picked Houston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Colts as well. A similar reason to the last one. I think they're just a better team.
That Week 14 bye is so late, isn't it? Like, looking at the schedule, that's so weird. There's only 4 games after the bye week.
The problem with picking Houston there, in my opinion, is that we just had them beat Washington, New England, the Rams, Philly, Pittsburgh, Dallas in a row before they've had a bye. So that's a beat-down team, likely, a team that hasn't had a rest week yet, and they just went in and beat 4 or 5 good teams. And then that's why I said the law of averages has to settle this towards the end, where they have to lose to the Giants or Houston because they're not winning those 5 games in a row. It's just not going to happen. But you guys say it will, so I guess.
No, I agree it won't happen, but I don't think they're losing those 2 games, so I'm not going to change those just because I feel like we've kind of already talked about that with other teams. Like we already picked it, so we got to stick with it. So I'm not going to change 2 games that I think they're going to win just because of what the other games ended up being.
Yeah, I'm fine with this because I think that this makes me. I mean, if their over under is 9.5, I'm very okay with taking the under on that. Honestly, I feel like we picked them to win so many games there.
And it was almost like we didn't pick them to win. We picked
the other team
to lose. So,
right.
Yeah. It's a week 11-7, I would say. Or 11-6, sorry.
Okay. So they were 11-6, you said?
Yes.
All right. I did not check the. Let's see. Do we have? What was your guess for the Colts?
I was going to say I could Google it quick, but if I had to guess, do you remember what the Titans were? Were they 9.5? Because I feel like the Colts and Titans would be the same, but 9.5 does feel kind of high. I'll go 8.5.
That's what I think. That I said 8.5. If it's anything higher than that, I'm definitely okay betting.
That feels too low though, because that would be a losing record, and they just brought Matt Ryan in.
9.5. Yeah,
it's got to be 9.5, right? Yeah, 9.5.
It was 9.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel okay. I mean, okay betting the under on that, but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, so 9.5. They won 9 games last season. They brought Matt Ryan in, so yeah, that line makes sense. They'll say, yeah, they got a quarterback improvement.
Right.
They should have won that 10th game, like we just talked about, where they blew it at the end. So,
all right, let's spin that wheel. Looks like there's so many teams left.
Yeah, which we'll just recap them quick once we get to them. But
yeah.
All right, the Super Bowl champs, LA Rams.
Super Bowl.
So we got a few empty games here to fill in.
Well, we
already picked Buffalo to win week 1, right? So
yep. I got that one.
That. Okay, you got that. Week 2, home against the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, we're not picking them to lose that, are we? To go 0-2 against the Cardinals would be, talk about a bad start if that happened. All right.
Yeah. We do have them losing week 3 to the Cardinals, you said.
We do,
so,
yeah.
All right, so 1-2 to start. Super Bowl.
Yeah, we left this one blank, but we actually already have them losing also week 4 against San Francisco. But that fits the narrative that we've been talking about with the hangover. A 1-3 start isn't the end of the world for them.
No, that totally seems fine because what we have them doing after that is hosting Dallas and beating them week 5, and then hosting Carolina, beating them week 6, and they get their bye week 7, and then they're going they're hosting San Francisco, and after they just lost to them, I don't see them. Oh, we already picked that game.
Yeah, they're going to win that game.
Well, good.
Fresh off the bye at home, getting over that Super Bowl hangover that they had, which really wasn't even that big. A 1-3 start. Teams do it every year and then make the playoffs. So,
right. Yeah, I like that.
See it again. So then they go week 9 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
At the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I
like the Bucs there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's who they beat last year, right?
Yeah, revenge game for the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
So then week 10, we had them beating Arizona. So that's 3 in a row coming off their bye. Or
So
no,
we had them splitting with Arizona too. So.
Yeah, losing this one. That's my bad. So we had them losing to Tampa.
Yep.
And then beating Arizona. Week 11, we had them losing to the Saints. And then a little, let's see, a win streak here. At Kansas City, we have them winning. Home against the Seahawks, obviously we have them winning that. And home against the Raiders, we have them winning that. We got 4 games left to close out the year. Week 15 at Green Bay.
Did we already pick this game?
Did we pick the Packers yet? Yeah, we did. We had them losing. So we had the Packers losing. We have the Rams winning.
Okay.
Which on the road at Green Bay be a big win for them to go tough. 4 straight.
Yeah, but they did get a break in there and play Seattle, so.
So we already picked this next one. Home game against Denver. We had the Rams winning at home.
Okay. That's quite the run here. We better.
And at the Chargers, we have not picked yet. So that feels like a good spot to get the Chargers a win, break this 5-game win streak that the Rams have going.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. And then we have them losing to Seattle.
So when we picked Seattle was one of the first teams we picked. And we said, the Rams will probably have their backups in. But I just want to count, because I think we can change that. So with that loss, we have them at 10-7. If that's the case, they're 10-6 going into that game.
I definitely think we need to change that game.
Yeah, because the 49ers would be 9-7 going in with a chance to get to 10 wins, and the Cardinals would be 10-6 going into that game. They're playing San Francisco, so one of those teams is guaranteed to get to be at least at 10. Arizona could get to 11. So yeah, they're definitely playing for the playoffs. So I think we got to switch.
I already did it.
Okay, perfect. So
yeah, and that leaves Seattle at 1-16.
So let's reiterate to bet the under on Seattle, which I believe was 4.5. Just take the under. It would be a miracle for them to win 5 games this year.
I think I'm going to have to definitely.
A minor miracle.
A miracle's a miracle, man.
So that gives them 11-6, right?
That is correct. Did we write that down in there? There it is. Yep.
So let's put that in. That would be good enough for the division. And they're over under. What do you think it is? I got it up here.
I feel like
won 12 games last year, just for.
Yeah. And I think that sounds really good. I think 11.5 is a good line.
So they actually are 10.5. I think partly because the Cardinals and the 49ers play in that division, and they both have higher over-unders as well.
Yeah.
8.5 for the Cardinals and 9.5 for the 49ers. So I lean towards the over there.
Yeah.
What does give me a little bit of pause is the talk about Matt Stafford's elbow. Is it 100%? I guess we'll see, but
right.
Not a strong lean either way.
No, I'm good with that. All right, so we got the wheel. Bring it up.
Wheel again.
We have the Washington Commanders.
So we've mentioned them a few times. We actually have a lot of their schedule already filled out. You want to run us up to the Minnesota game?
Yeah, so we have Washington. All right, so holy crap, we have a lot filled out. So we have them starting off at home hosting Jacksonville and losing, and then going to Detroit, losing week 2, hosting Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles, week 3, losing that game as well. Then they go to Dallas, week 4. We have them beating Dallas, and then hosting Tennessee, and they lose that game. So we have them starting off 1-4. Then they go to Chicago. We have them winning that, so 2-4. Then we have them hosting Green Bay week 7. We have them losing that game, and then we have them losing the next week as well, week 8, where they are going to Indy. So that is a 2-7,
2-6 start.
2-6
Going into week 9,
where they play
where they
Minnesota.
host the Minnesota Vikings, who at that
And-
point in the season are 3-4.
Yeah, and I'm actually fine with them having this many losses because they have a super easy schedule coming up here against like Houston, Atlanta, the Giants. They play, yeah. So I'm okay with that. I'm giving Minnesota the win here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with that because I think they are the better team. And like you said, they do have that easier schedule coming up before their bye where they might rattle off a few wins. We'll see.
Right. All right. And then week 10, we have them going to Philadelphia and losing. So Philadelphia sweeps Washington. We have that. And then next we're picking at Houston, week 11. And I'm going Commanders there.
Yeah, give me the same.
All right. So Commanders get a win finally. And then they go to week 12. They're hosting Atlanta. I'm sorry. I'm just having such a hard time picking Atlanta with like any games here.
I
But
know you've been against them all night.
I mean, Mariota or Ritter as your quarterback. I know what it's like to have Mariota as a quarterback. As a Titans fan.
I just got to find more than we have one win right now for the Falcons. I don't think they're a 1-win team bad. I don't think they're a good team.
They're probably a 2-win team bad. But I don't think Washington's the team to lose to Atlanta.
Teams win games every year they're not supposed to. These are 2 bad teams, really, when it boils down to it. But I'll take the home team, so give me Washington.
All right. And then we have, week 13, they are going to the Giants. I'm going to pick them to lose the Giants and then win the Giants because they go to New York, have their bye, and then New York comes to them. That's kind of
that's an interesting little schedule there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a run of 4 straight division games for the Giants at Dallas, home Washington, home Philly, at Washington.
Wow.
So that division is going to come down to the end of the year.
Yeah.
I like them to split, and I think it makes the most sense for it to be the home team winning. So,
like I said, I am down with that. All right, so we had them. So their bye week was week 14. They're another team with that super late bye week. Week 15, we have them going or hosting the Giants, like we just said. We have them winning. They go to San Francisco, and we have them losing that game.
yeah.
And then week 17 is Cleveland. And
Watson's back, probably not playing for the playoffs just because I think they're in for a rough start without him.
I just think Cleveland is such a better team roster-wise, especially with Watson at the helm.
Yeah, they have more talent for sure. So give me Cleveland as well.
All right. And then they finished the season, week 18, hosting Dallas.
Which we picked Washington to win.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So we had them go 4, 5, 6, 6, and 11.
I don't hate that. I think they still have. They're well coached with Ron Rivera. They have some talent. The offense hasn't been great from reports in the offseason so far, but they might be able to overcome it.
That's absolutely a loss, though, for Washington. Like they don't seem like me. I mean, they do seem like a 6-11 team, but it also feels like that would be underachieving.
Yeah, what do you think their over under is? I got it up here.
I would. I mean, I would have to guess 7.5.
Spot on, 7.5. They won 7 games last year.
Okay.
That's it. It's funny because we talked about the Colts. So they won 9 last year, got an upgrade at quarterback, moving on from Wentz to get Matt Ryan. They bumped up from 9 to 9.5 as their line. The Commanders get the quarterback that the Colts upgraded from, and they're over under set at 7.5, which is half a game more than they won last year. So they get an upgrade at quarterback into the books. Yeah, I lean under there, mostly because I'm very high on Philly hitting their over, and I think Dallas is also a playoff team. So
yeah, we had Dallas going 11-6, so that's I agree. If you're gonna bet it, I would go under, but I don't feel super good about either. All right, really dwindling this down here.
Yep, not many spins left to go. Let's do it. Take the Commanders out, because now we might land on the same team if we do that.
All right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we need the Falcons because there's a lot of open space on that team. So Atlanta Falcons.
Get rid of a bunch of it.
Got the first 3 games locked in. Home against New Orleans as a loss. At the LA Rams also as a loss. And we have at Seattle as a loss. So not good times in Atlanta. But week 4, can they get the win against the Cleveland Browns at home, who also started 0-3 based on our schedule?
Well, I would say no. But they have a very difficult schedule coming up, and I don't see them beating anyone other than Cleveland.
But do we want to start Cleveland 0-6 with Baltimore and Cincinnati to come up after that? Probably not, right? Like they're not going to lose probably all those. So I want to give Cleveland the win there. What do you think?
I agree with that. Cleveland is they're just much better.
Even without having Watson, it's a good roster still.
I don't even know that I would say Jacoby Brissett is necessarily that much worse than the Falcons' starting quarterback, and the rest of the roster is just that much better. So,
right.
All right. So week 5.
Yep, week 5 at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm very okay with giving Tampa Bay the win there.
I am as well.
Going to be a lot of red on this line here. Then
so
going
hosting San Francisco to win.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And then we have week 7. They are going to Cincinnati. Now,
still looking for their first win.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be looking a little longer.
Let's say this ain't it for me. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm picking the Bengals.
Okay. Thought we were going to get a little crazy there and do something we shouldn't, but all right. So next week we have them going week 8, losing to Carolina while hosting them. Oh, wow. We had them actually lose to Carolina twice in 3 weeks.
We did. Looking at it now, I kind of want to flip one, but we won't.
We won't. We're sticking with it. And
because also 9, what's gross here is we have the Chargers coming off their bye to play at Atlanta. So
I would not pick
getting a win there.
Yeah, I would not pick Atlanta to beat one of the best teams in the NFL.
So a nice 0-10 start for the Falcons.
But they do go to they host Chicago and we have them winning their first game, Week 11. And actually, this game was already picked also. So that one's a loss. All right, so we have them winning Week 11. We have them losing Week 12 at Washington. We have them losing Week 13, hosting Pittsburgh. They get their bye week, Week 14.
And they're ready for their season to end.
They're just hoping it's over. Actually, this is definitely Desmond Ridder time, so a lot of losses makes a lot of sense, unless he's something that scouts just didn't see. He has the talent. He just has to be able to put it all together and work on his accuracy, which doesn't usually take.
He was a winner at Cincinnati, though. That's something I will say, is the guy was a winner.
Yes, and there is something about that, but I don't know. All right, so Week 15 at New Orleans, we have them losing. Week 16 at Baltimore. I don't see it.
I don't either.
I wanted to.
It's like I want to pick them to win because I don't think they're going to win one, but I just don't know which one it is, and I don't want to hurt the other team just because I'm trying to force an Atlanta win that might not even come.
And here we have Tampa Bay. They play Tampa Bay Week 18, but it looks like from what we have Tampa Bay, we have them losing looks like a couple games. 1, 2, 3 games. And don't forget we had Packers going 14-3. So Tampa Bay could be playing for the 1 seed. So I'm gonna have to go Tampa Bay.
Could be. Who did we have winning this game? San Francisco, Tampa Bay. That should be marked. Okay. We had Tampa Bay winning. I'm just going through Tampa Bay's schedule, seeing what we have them for so far.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
we had them.
No matter what,
Tampa Bay lose to New Orleans in that game.
Oh, so we already have Tampa Bay out of the 1 seed.
Yeah, they can't.
Maybe they would be resting starters.
Already have 4 losses. However, the division should be locked up, right? Because obviously Atlanta's not getting it, Carolina's not getting it, and New Orleans we had winning 9.
8.
So
9.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We already have Tampa at 9, and they'll probably win at least one of those other ones that we haven't picked yet. So
I think Tampa Bay's got this 2 seed locked in at that point, and it doesn't really matter if they. I mean, playing
it
back,
feels like they'd be a team to sit Brady too, right? Like, you got a 45-year-old quarterback. Why risk it?
Yeah,
if you're locked into your seeding.
I'm okay with picking Atlanta to win that game. Just obviously, if the game matters, Tampa Bay is taking that game. We think, but this is a full projection of Tampa Bay sitting their starters and the Falcons go ahead and win at home against Tampa Bay.
So that gives 2-15.
Yes, sir.
What do you got for their over-under?
I didn't feel good about, I don't feel good about picking them to win many more of those games. Maybe the Cleveland game, a Seattle game, and
split with Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So if we did that, they'd be 5. So I'm going to go 5.5.
It's actually 4.5.
Ooh.
So Vegas and the bettors are not high on them to win a lot this year. They see a lot of the same things we do. Adding under 4.5 doesn't give you a lot of room for error if they come out and steal an early game. If they win that Seattle game week 3, you probably don't feel great about under 4.5 if they lose that game.
Tell you what, if they come out, they win against Seattle and then beat Cleveland week 4 also.
Yep.
That is tough. Yeah.
We picked them, 2-15, but I wouldn't want to bet the over or the under.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Who is next? I'll fill in for Anthony here. Big money, big money, big money, big money. The Browns.
I think we got most of them filled out. I mean, most of the schedule is filled out at this point, so we can run through it quick.
Yep.
We have them losing at Carolina week 1, losing to the Jets at home week 2, losing to Pittsburgh at home week 3. They get their first win at Atlanta in week 4, like we just talked about. Week 5, they go to the Chargers. We have them losing. Week 6, they are at home against the Chargers week 5. We have them losing that, as well as at home against the Patriots in week 6. We have them losing that as well. So week 7 at Baltimore. What are we thinking?
I think at Baltimore, I'm going Baltimore with Jacoby Brissett starting that game.
Yep. Yeah. And another division game, probably would like to pick them to split. And just the fact that Watson's back for the later season game.
Right.
I'd prefer to give the win to Cleveland later on than this game.
All right. And then we have
week 8. Yeah, go ahead.
We have week 8. They are hosting the Bangles. Once again, I just don't feel, man.
I don't feel comfortable picking them.
I don't either.
To beat Cincinnati there.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, so that is a loss and a win for.
I just want to point out we got a lot of green on Baltimore's schedule.
I did notice that. But I think Baltimore is a good team. Very good team.
Yeah, I don't know if they're this good. Ooh, like we have one loss on their schedule right now.
We will fix it. Just like we fixed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Did they lose? We had them losing this game to New Orleans. So we have 2 losses on their schedule. I feel better now. I was like, we got them losing 1 game. Ooh. Okay.
All right. So we have so the bye week 9 for the Browns. They go to Miami week 10 and we have them winning. We have them going to Buffalo week 11 and we have them losing that. And then they host Tampa Bay.
Why Watson's still out.
The week before Watson comes back.
Yeah.
And I'm
going Bucs.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving them a loss there. And then week 13 at Houston, I cannot wait for that.
That's going to be the most talked about game of the year, probably.
Yes.
Outside of the Super Bowl.
Now, as much as I would love to pick Houston to win this game after
I hope they do.
Kind of quit on the team. Does hoping project to an actual win? I don't think
Probably not. Yeah, I wouldn't pick it.
All right, so we're going. That's a Cleveland Brown win. Although, God, I would just love that. Love it to be a loss. All right, then they go at Cincinnati,
who we've had lose 3 straight. I just want to point out.
Okay,
coming off their bye. I don't think I want to pick them to lose 4 straight.
Not to lose 4 straight. Yeah, I agree. All right, so a loss for the Browns week 14, and then they are hosting the Baltimore Ravens, who I believe they go in. Or I'm sorry, Baltimore comes in, and I do believe that the Browns win that game.
Yeah, I like that. Split the series.
Yeah. And we have a game here that we already must have picked. We did. We had the Browns beat New Orleans. And then we filled up. So they end the season when Watson comes back. This sucks. We have them going 5-1 because we have them beating New Orleans. We have them going to Washington and winning. We have them going to Pittsburgh and winning. So that would leave them with a 5, 6, 7, and 10 record, which obviously they're not making the playoffs. So I feel good about that. You just don't want to see them win with Watson in there, unfortunately. But
not that many. What do you think their over-under is?
Yeah, 7 feels really good. I'm gonna go 7.5.
It's actually 8.5.
Wow. All
You
right.
like a bet of the under there?
I don't, because I don't know what to expect from Brissett.
Yeah, that's where I struggle because they do have a good team, and if he can just game manage, they can probably start better than the two. What do we have? 2-8
Yeah.
or 2-9. So
Yeah. I don't like that.
if
All
they
right.
start, 4-6 instead of 2-9, or 4-7 instead of 2-9, then you're hitting the over with a 9-8 record. So
Right.
let's spin the wheel.
Spin
Almost out of teams
it.
here.
Spin it, spin it, spin it. We have the
The Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go Tampa Bay. We only have to pick 2 games for them because we have the rest of
Yep.
their schedule filled out. All right. Week 1 at Dallas. We have that as a loss. We said that we had them starting off 1-2.
Yeah.
So then they go at New Orleans, week 2, get the win. Host Green Bay, week 3, loss. We have them hosting on their second of a 3-game home stretch, hosting Kansas City and winning, hosting Atlanta and winning. We have them going to Pittsburgh, week 6, and getting the win, going to Carolina, week 7, getting the win. So after starting off 1-2, we have them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-2.
Yep.
And then they're hosting Baltimore week 8, and I like Tampa Bay that game.
I also do.
All right, let's give
They'll be on a roll there. They found their groove.
That sounds like a Brady thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. He's just going to rifle off some wins there.
Yep. So week 9, hosting the Rams. We have them beating the Rams. Week 10, hosting Seattle. Have them beating Seattle. Week 11 is their bye week. Week 12, at Cleveland, we have them beating the Browns. We just picked that. And then we have them losing to New Orleans. I like that a lot. So that's week 13. And that's at home against New Orleans. Week 14, going to San Francisco and winning. Week 15, hosting the Bangles. What do we think here?
2 good teams. I want to lean the home team just without really looking into it too much deeper.
I agree. I would love to pick the Bengals there, but we're going to go with the home team, which is the Buccaneers. And then they go week 16. That is at Arizona. That is a loss. We have that. We have Arizona winning a late season game against a good team. That's silly. And then week 17, home against Carolina, win. And then week 18, as we said, this season's already kind of locked up. They have the 2 seed. They're 12-5, or at that point they're 12-4. Bench Brady. Atlanta comes in and wins.
Yeah, because we have the Packers being 14-3, so they couldn't catch them.
Right. They go to Atlanta and lose instead of Atlanta coming there. All right. So we have them at 12. What was it? 12-5. You have the line.
I do. What are you thinking? How do you feel about that 12?
I feel like that 12 is a really good number. So I'm gonna go. That sounds stupid. I can't go 12.5. I'll go 11.
Yeah, I did say earlier the Bills were tied for the highest with 11.5.
Yes. I remember you saying that twice.
Yes.
All
and
right,
that is with the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
11.5.
I don't feel comfortable betting anything on that line. It feels really good. Maybe the over.
So high. It's easy to blow a couple games and finish 11-6 and then under. It's like it's the same thing with the Bills. Like we picked them to go 14-3, but it's so easy to just lose a couple 1-score games and be 11-6. I mean, they did it last year. So
absolutely. All right. What do we have coming up here?
I wonder who's gonna be the last team here. We only got 6 left.
Yep,
the 5.
Chargers are next. Los Angeles Chargers. Ooh,
all right.
We got 5 games to pick.
I'll
All
run
right.
through here. We got week 1, home against the Raiders. We have them winning. Going to the Chiefs, week 2, we have a loss. Back home against Jacksonville, we have a win. And then week 4, going to Houston, we have to pick that one.
Win.
Yes. Not much to think about there. Let's change Houston to a loss. Chargers to a win. And week 5 at Cleveland, I believe we already picked that.
We did.
As a win for the Chargers. Week 6, home against Denver, we have as a win already. And week 7, home against Seattle, we have as a win. So we have them 6-1 going into their bye week at week 8. Coming out of the bye at Atlanta, win. Week 10, San Francisco, we picked to lose to the Chargers. So Chargers get the win. We have the Chargers playing at home, week 11 against the Chiefs with a win. Going to Arizona, getting the win. Week 12, week 13, at the Raiders, we have as a loss. We have them a loss at home against Miami. And they follow that up with wins over Tennessee, at Indianapolis, and home against the Rams in week 17. So week 18 is at Denver. I believe we already picked that one, correct?
We did.
And we picked
And
them
they
to
have
lose to
that
Denver. So what do we got there? 13, 12 or 13 wins, it felt like.
13.
Yeah, only 4 losses. All right. That looks like a division winner to me.
That is a very good team. I'm okay with that.
It's a very high number also, because what are you thinking for the over-under? Obviously, you're thinking bet the over here. But what do you think the actual line is?
I'm gonna go 10.5.
Yep, you're right on. Last year they won 9 games, so a big improvement
Yeah, it's
is expected from Vegas.
so we actually have them like fulfilling their potential instead of absolutely just blowing it like they usually. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Rams. I was thinking Chargers.
So, yeah, I mean, the Chargers have had a lot of. They seem to be like the kings of finding weird, stupid ways to lose. They do it every year. If they could shake that, I could see them hitting this 13 wins.
Absolutely.
I would put them at a pretty well. I don't even want to say safe because we got Baltimore and Cincinnati to go through first, but they're looking at the 2 or the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So we'll spin.
Spin the wheel. There you go, Anthony.
The Vikings.
The Vikings. I was just looking at them. I was like, man, we got quite a few games to pick for them. It looks like too, unless we just forgot to mark them. But wait, no, we don't.
Just late season games from the looks of it.
Well, the indie game we definitely already picked, and we picked that. Oh my god! Oh, we have them as a win against Indianapolis. All right.
Okay, so we got 1 game left to pick.
Yep.
I'm through it.
All right, so we got Minnesota, week 1, hosting Green Bay, loss. At Philadelphia, loss. Hosting Detroit, win. At New Orleans, win. Chicago, hosting Chicago, that's a win. And going to Miami, that is a loss. So we still have them starting 3-3 going into their bye. Week 8, hosting Arizona, losing. Going to Washington, getting the win. Going to Buffalo, and getting the win. Hosting Dallas.
Big upset.
That is a big upset. Hosting Dallas, week 11. We have as a loss. Hosting New England. This is the 3-game stretch for them for home games. So it's a Dallas, New England, New York Jets. We have them losing to Dallas, beating New England, beating the Jets. And then they lose to Detroit, at Detroit, Week 14. Week 15, we have them beating New England. Wow, Indianapolis.
Yep.
Week 16, we have one to pick here. It is the New York Giants. And they are hosting the New York Giants. I'm going Vikings.
I'll go Vikings.
All right. Week 17, they're going to Green Bay. We have them getting the win. And then we have them losing at Chicago, week 18.
Yeah, so Green Bay would have already had the division locked up for that week 17 game. So Vikings fighting for a wild card, Green Bay fighting for the 1 seed, but
that's a huge loss at Chicago week 18 because that puts them at 10-7.
Yeah, they should still, with the extra wild card this year, I think, and the way we've picked, it's been pretty top heavy. I think they're probably safe at a wild card with the 49ers and the Cardinals as the other two.
Right.
I don't see another team.
All right.
Yeah, that puts them right at the last wild card spot.
All right. So, over under for that team.
Actually, we had San Francisco as 11-6, so they're easily in. So they're tied with Arizona for the last wild card spot for 6-7.
That's tough.
What are you thinking on their over under?
8.5.
A little higher, 9.5.
9.5. All right, so we have them right on their line then.
That's why I saw we had one game left and we had them at 9-7. I was like, which way are we going to swing here? So that's one that feels right on. They were an 8-win team last year. New head coach, going to put a new system in. Jefferson is amazing. So I don't want to bet against them, but I don't really want to bet over 9.5 either. So I'm good with leaving that one just sit there.
All right. Who is the next team? We have the Bangles.
We got a couple to pick here.
All right, let's get them. Where are they?
We got week 1, hosting Pittsburgh as a win. Going to Dallas week 2, loss. At the Jets as a win. Home against Miami, win. Week 5, 3-1 Bengals going to the 4-0 Baltimore Ravens. First place in the division on the line. What are we thinking?
Go get them, Bengals. I'm sorry, Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree. Take the home team. Probably going to split. That's the wrong color. Let's switch that.
So we're giving the Bengals the 5-0 start.
The Ravens are 5-0.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bengals are 3-2.
That's right.
So starting week 6 now, they got a stretch of 4 victories at New Orleans, home Atlanta, at Cleveland, home Carolina to lead up to their bye. They're sitting at 7-2 going into their week 10 bye. Coming out of the bye at Pittsburgh, we have them losing. At Tennessee, also losing, and home Kansas City losing. Fall to 7-5. They then host Cleveland and get the win. Go to Tampa for a loss. At New England, win. Home Buffalo, win. And the revenge game, week 18.
That's a
Cincinnati hosts the Ravens. Yeah, I wanted to split to get that home game.
Let's
I
go.
like it. So that gives us how many wins? So that's 11-6. Yeah.
11-6.
You thinking on there over under?
10.5 sounds good. Well,
They won 10 games last year.
they got better, in my opinion. I'm happy with a 10.5.
They're a 9.5. I kind of like the over there.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher for me.
It is a pretty tough division, but Watson being out for the majority of the season really makes the Browns less of a factor. Yeah, I kind of like that in the over on the Bengals there.
I agree. All right. We have
3 teams to go.
We only have 4 games left to pick. Actually 2 games left to pick because.
All right, let's stay in the AFC North and go to the Baltimore Ravens. You want to run through them?
All right. Baltimore Ravens. We're going to go real quick here. Holy moly, we might want to find them a loss. Baltimore Ravens.
I told you.
We have them going on an insane start if we pick a win here coming up week 6. So at the Jets, win. Home against Miami, win. At New England, win. Home against Buffalo, win. Home against Cincinnati, win. At New York Giants, week 6. Do they get upset by the Giants to stop this insane run they're on?
Knowing what we've picked the rest of the games, I want to give them a loss just because I don't want them to start. But I also don't want to, it is Giants at home, and I think we've only given the Giants about 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah.
With the new coach, Brian Daboll, they could come out and surprise. I'll give the Giants the win.
I'm okay with it. You got to pick upsets. I mean, we definitely have the Ravens with some upsets. They probably wouldn't be favored to beat the Bills and maybe not even the Bengals. All right, so that's a loss there.
We also have to be coming up at Tampa Bay, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right, so week 7. So we must think that they're going to be a good team this year. They're going to overachieve because we have them beating a lot of good teams. So while we were picking those teams, we must have been thinking, well, the Ravens are going to be good this year. So, all right. Week 7, home against Cleveland, win. At Tampa Bay, week 8, win. At New Orleans, week 9, loss. Going into their bye week, week 10, week 11, hosting the Carolina Panthers, win. At Jacksonville, win. Hosting Denver, win. At Pittsburgh, win. They play the Cleveland Browns, week 15, at Cleveland. Deshaun Watson back his, second game, third game, second game?
That would be his, second game back, I believe.
And they lose to the Browns. Week 16, hosting Atlanta, win. Week 17, hosting Pittsburgh, loss. Week 18, going to Cincinnati, loss. That finishes them at 12-5 with 2 really good stretches of wins.
So it actually makes sense the way we picked it too, because even with that loss, they already had the division clinched for Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's fighting for wild card placement to get in at 11-6. They can't win the division because Baltimore's already 12-4, so they blow that game. Go to 12-5, still win the division.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we have 3 teams left on the wheel. Which teams?
It's actually 2 because I just removed the Ravens.
Oh, I can't do math. We have
Texans and the Giants.
The Texans or the Giants. Come on, let's go. Texans, you got to represent the AFC South.
This is the last team left wins the Super Bowl. Is that how it goes?
What? Oh.
Because if that was the case, the New York Giants, congratulations.
Yep.
So, Houston Texans. I can run through their schedule quick here. Be a lot of red. Week 1, home against the Colts. We have them losing. Going to Denver week 2 is a loss. They get their first win week 3 at Chicago. They follow that up with a home loss to the Chargers and a loss on the road against Jacksonville. So going to their bye week 6 at 1-4. Coming out of their bye at the Raiders, loss. Home Tennessee, loss. home Philadelphia loss in Week 10, our last game to pick, Ryan, at
It-
the New York Giants.
It has to be a win
It's
because
got to be a Houston win, because otherwise they're losing about 12 games in a row.
yes. So
I am good with that.
yeah, they have to win that, and then because the Giants at that point we already have them winning like 6 games in the season.
Yeah, which is pretty close to their number. So beat the Giants. 10, Week 11, loss at home to Washington. Week 12, loss at Miami. Week 13, a loss to Cleveland in Watson's first game back. 14, we have a loss at Dallas. Week 15, a loss at home against the Chiefs. 16, loss at Tennessee. 17, we have them beating Jacksonville, and 18, a loss at home or at Indianapolis. So 3 and 14 is what we have for Houston.
Sounds about right, honestly. I think they could. I mean, if their line is like 5.5.
So Houston won 4 games last season. What are you thinking on their line?
I think that with Davis Mills having a year under his belt, I think he's good for another game. I go 5.5.
They're 4.5. So we picked them under.
Oh,
Pretty far under that 4.5. They'd have to win 2 more to hit the over.
I was really hoping it'd be 5.5 because I was going to say smash the under on that.
Yeah, at 5.5 it would be. At 4.5,
Doesn't feel
tough.
good.
No,
They're
I
the
agree.
kind of team that Tennessee loses to also.
Yeah.
And we have them beating, or we have Tennessee beating them twice. So, yeah, I like
All
that.
right. I'm good with that. So then that just leaves the Giants.
The New York Football Giants, and because we've gone through every other team, I think it's only fair if we read off the Giants' schedule also.
Do it.
All right, at Tennessee, Week 1, loss. Carolina, home. Win. Dallas, home. Win. Chicago, home. Win. Starting off 3-1. Brian Daboll's the savior. All right, I was getting a little bit crazy there. They're hosting. Wait a minute. They have 5 home games in a row. That can't be right.
Yeah, something's messed up there. I can check quick just to see, just so we have it correct. Giants go at Tennessee, home Carolina, home Dallas, home Chicago. It actually is technically 5 home games because they're playing the Packers in London and they are the home team.
Holy moly.
And they come back from London to play Baltimore at home. So yeah, it is technically 5 home games, but one of them is in London.
Crazy. Okay, so we have them
probably never been seen before.
Yeah, I was just stuck out like a sore thumb looking at the screen. We don't do anything on paper anymore. Besides you, you're over there looking at like a magazine.
Yeah, and I take notes too during the show.
I take notes on my phone. All right, so we had them losing to Green Bay Week 5, beating Baltimore Week 6. So they had a 4-2 start. That's very good. And then going to Jacksonville Week 7, losing. Going to Seattle Week 8, winning. So that's what, a 5-3? Yeah, a 5-3 start going into their bye week. That's a win for Dable, I think.
And then
it happens. They lose to Houston at home. They lose to Detroit at home. They lose to Dallas at Dallas. Then they get the win against Washington at home. So Week 13, they're looking like what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
they're 6-6 going into their last 5 games.
All right, and then we have them losing every game. So losing at home against Philly, losing at Washington, losing at Minnesota, losing at Indianapolis, losing home against Indianapolis, losing at Philadelphia, which it does
at 6-11.
And I bet their over-under is probably 7.5.
So the Giants won 4 games last season, and your guess was how many?
Oh, they only won 4 games last year?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they had like the 5th pick or something this year?
Is Dable good enough for 3 games? I'm going to say 6.5.
It was 7.5.
It's 7.5.
That's shocking to me, though. That's a big jump with 2 playoff teams in your division, with the Cowboys and the Eagles.
That's an under for me. Like, I'm definitely happy with the under on that line.
I think Vegas and the bettors are big believers in Brian Dable because of the success he had with Josh Allen in Buffalo.
But it took him a year.
Yep. I would recommend betting the Giants under 7.5.
I think next episode, because this one's over, we're 2.5 hours in. This was a late night podcast. Anthony went to bed. He said, "Screw it, I'm done." He had an emergency. He had to go. But I would love to go through these, look at the lines, see the biggest differentials, and then say like which ones we feel the most comfortable betting on.
Yeah, definitely, because I would like to actually put some money where my mouth is too on some of these over-unders and actually bet them.
I love it. Sounds like we have some material for the future episodes.
Yes, so we will get that to you in the future once we get it all organized.
All right, and we have something to go off of for our predictions later on. We're talking in future episodes. So this was good getting this
It'll
done.
Be fun each week to. It doesn't have to be on the podcast, but we could just at some point recap to each team's schedule at the end of the season. So
should be interesting.
Yeah.
We had some teams way overachieving, some way underachieving, and some just around their betting line. So it feels like, I'm ready to submit this thing like the lottery. Like, can we get this perfect? And if we do, how much money do you think you should win if you guess a whole season's worth for every team?
It can't even be. It's got to be impossible.
It's got to be like winning the lottery.
To pick every game, it's got to be even worse odds.
You think so?
Because there's more possible combinations than there would be like picking a March Madness bracket perfect, and no one's ever done that, right? It's got to be more because there's more games.
Yeah,
there's less teams, but there's more games. Yeah, I wonder what the possibility of that is. I'd say impossible, but I guess you can never say impossible.
Yeah, I would love to look that up. We're gonna have that for maybe. I'm not good at math, but maybe someone's Googled that before, so we'll figure that out.
We'll see if it's out there on Google.
All right. For the Ultraflex crew, we have if you're going to follow us on Twitter, we're at UltraflexFFP. Rob is at UltraflexRob. I am at UltraflexRyan. Anthony is at UltraflexSutton. If you are watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe and like. And we are on all podcast platforms, hopefully very soon. We're having trouble with one of them.
Well, most likely you can find us where you listen to your podcast, so check us out.
And if you're on Apple, what is it? iTunes or Apple Podcasts, then get a different one. No, we actually have the episodes on our website that we publish on Twitter after every episode, so that makes it easy.
Yeah.
So you just go right to our website and listen to it from there. All right. From me, from Rob, we will talk to you guys next episode.
Thanks for listening.